All right, folks, welcome to your IDEA project. Now, in this project, you're going to get to familiarize yourselves with one of the software packages that allows you to conduct a digital audit. You're able to import data files and conduct some of the most common tests, whether mechanical tests, extractions, random samples, and then you're able to do some correlations so that you can verify existence, validity, cutoff points, etc. So let me start by sharing the workbook. Now remember, this workbook is about 200 and something pages, but it has a lot of images, so don't be afraid of it. You'll get to enjoy it at the end of the session. You should be able to complete this within the next couple of hours. We're going to start with the accounts receivable audit, and then we'll move forward to the accounts payable audit. As you are creating these tests, make sure that you are taking a screenshot of your work so that I may validate that you're doing it properly, number one. And at the end of the sessions, I'm going to ask you to export some of the audit files or the history files, and you'll be turning those in. So the setting is you have been hired by Bright Ideas Inc. to perform some audits. The actual assignment and the workbook will give you a little more background on that. So let me redirect you to our page 21 of our workbook so we can get started. So as you can see here, we are going to look for certain objectives. IDEA can be used for mechanical accuracy evaluations, analysis of different kinds. You'll see that on the ribbons. You also look at several tests that are available to provide validity either through exception testing, statistical sampling, duplicate testing, etc. You also have the ability to join databases or different files so that you can correlate transactions from different sources or different sources of information. You will be able to do completeness, cutoff, and other audit objectives. If you go on to page 26, you'll see the risks that are involved potentially in an accounts receivable audit. Some of these risks are listed on the left, and the implications of that risk occurring and what kind of audits you can conduct to be able to make sure that you can test for errors. Excuse me. So to give you an example, you may have credit that is granted to customers that are likely to default. And if that happens, this implies that the business is selling goods to parties from which they will not be able to collect the cash. And of course, this is going to impact our liquidity and our expenses. If you look at your accounts receivable account and you see that the transactions that make up your balance sheet, which your AR is considered an asset, and if you have transactions in there that have not been collected in a long time, then the reality is that the value of those transactions is very low, because your chances of getting that money back is going to be close to zero. So proper accounting principles will move us to actually write those off within a reasonable time frame, and we want to make sure that our clients are following the same procedures. So we're going to test the valuation of their accounts receivable account. We can look at double billing by looking at duplicates, and that will help us verify the existence, the validity, and the valuation once again of those accounts. We may look at the proper allocation of credits and payments, or if you are not authorizing clients to get credit, and if you find that some of those clients do not have a credit account yet they have outstanding credit, then somehow we bypass some of our internal controls. So this is what this exercise, or this first section of the exercise, is all about, and we can take it from there. On page 32, you'll be able to see some of the auditing procedures and the assertions you're trying to get to. For example, if you're looking for completeness, then you would be able to see that all of your transactions match any control that you have either from, or control figures that you have either from your balance sheet or from your client's summaries. By importing all the transactions, checking the total, making sure that you have statistics that match the range, then you are not only verifying for completeness, but also for cutoff points as well. So that is in page 32. Please go ahead and review that. And then once you're done with this, we'll get to the beginning of the exercise, which is 2A on page 33. So we are going to create a new project. IDEA has all of the audits contained within project files. So that means that everything that you do can be contained within one project, including all the files that you're going to be using. Best practices will guide us to make sure that everything is self-contained, so that if you archive it and somebody else opens this, they're able to conduct the same audit that you perform. So let's get it started then. Let me go ahead and start by opening IDEA. I'm gonna go ahead and first create a new project, and the assignment is asking us for us to create a project named Accounts Receivable Audit. So I'll go ahead and name that Accounts Receivable Audit. Press OK. And that is going to create a folder within my documents, more specifically within my documents, my IDEA documents, and from there, I'm looking at IDEA projects, and the one that I just created, it's an Accounts Receivable Audit. Within that, you can see that the actual folders that are contained. We are going to want to put all of our files in the source files library folder, so that we are able to easily access them in the future. And also, if we are archiving these projects, then we want to make sure both our files, our visualizations, the results, our macros, and any definitions are self-contained, so that we can move them and restore them if necessary. So let me go back to our instructions then. We are going to go into the properties of that project, and we are going to type in the period for which we are doing this. So going back here, I'm going to my properties for this project, and I am gonna do the report period, and this is where you would put your name. So I'm gonna ask you to please put your name. So in my case, I'm gonna do Parra F, and then I'm gonna do AR Audit. So I'm including my name as a variation of this assignment, just to make sure that we are doing our own work. All right, so I'm gonna press OK. Before I do that, for every one of these assignments, I want you to take a screenshot. So go ahead and take this snipping tool and make sure that you take a screenshot of the entire screen, showing me your name and the time that you created this. Make sure that your time and the date is reflected on the bottom corner. And then you're gonna save this, or actually copy this and post it into a Word document. So I'm gonna go ahead and open a Word document. And this is gonna be our step 2A. And I'm gonna paste it. Making sure that we're doing this each step of the way. So that's 2A. Going further, I'm gonna go ahead and load the data. So that's the next step, is to load the data. So don't go to these files. I have created a specific link for you guys within the assignment. In the assignment, I'm asking you guys to download the files that you have in the assignment. So let me go back to those really quick so I can share that. In the instructions, you'll see that it says download the files. You've already installed this, but there was the data. So don't go look for the data somewhere else. I've already compiled it for you, and I made it easy by creating an XML file. It would be a lot easier to import than an Access database, and I can explain those details in class and why is it easier to do the XML data set. So make sure you come in here and make sure you download all of these files. For this AR, all we need is our accounts receivable XML file. So I'm gonna go ahead and download it, and I'm gonna also download our customer text. Let's make sure that that's what it says on the assignment real quick. We do need the customer text file. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna download it as well. So now that I have those files within my downloads, then I'm gonna cut these, move them into the same library folder that I created with my project. So it's gonna be under my documents, my idea documents, idea projects, the accounts receivable audit, the source files, and I'm gonna drop them in there. And the reason, once again, is to make sure that all of my files are contained within my project. So if I need to archive it, move it, or share with someone, that everything is included in there. So make sure you follow that file archival, and we're ready for step 2B, which is to import the accounts receivable transactions. Instead of following the Access database, we are going to do something else. So let me go ahead and pause this video and take it from there. Thank you.